Using a grid to make half square triangle units is very efficient and accurate, especially if you have a lot of them to make. I gave you instructions in your handout with all the measurements, but I want to show you how I do it too. First of all, I'm using a Sharpie marker just so that you can see what I'm doing, and obviously I don't recommend that you do that on your own. I said to leave a margin around the edge of your fabric, and all I mean is to come in about 1/2 inch before you draw your first line. And I just draw it like that. Then you need to measure 3 7/8 inch. 3 7/8 inch. I wrote that you can do 4 inches if you want to. You will have to trim down your half square triangle units when you're done. And because this is a very efficient and accurate way to do this, I don't think you really need to go to 4 inches. I've come over 3 7/8 and I draw my second line. And again, move down 3 7/8. And draw that line. So this is what I have so far. I'm going to turn this, and I'm going to draw a baseline, and I'm going to start it at the other end because that lets me line up these vertical lines to make sure that I am still straight, and a nice square line right across there. And then I'm going to measure this way. And as you can see, as I wrote in the instructions, let your line extend beyond the edges of the grid, like that. Start back here and back there. 3 7/8. Yeah, I find it helps for me to say that out loud. Across there. And one more because our grid just has 6 squares. Like that. Grid, 3 7/8 inch squares. Then you're going to draw some diagonal lines. And you need to draw the lines that I showed on your handout, like this, corner to corner, like that. That. And here. Just like that. It's kind of like a fish going along there. So that's what your grid should look like. And you are going to put it together with fabric number 1. As I said, I am not really going to use this one, but I'd put it together, right sides together, and raw edges even. There's also a diagram in your instructions that shows you how to sew this. You're going to start sewing here, and you're going to sew like this, and just keep sewing all the way till you get to this line. And then you're going to pivot, and it helps if your sewing machine will stop with the needle in the down position so you can just pivot. You're going to get to that one and keep sewing. There. And all the way out to here again. When you get out to here, you're going to stop, turn your piece around, and go like this. Now you're going to sew until you reach that line that you extended. Pivot. Stop when you get to this line. So, stop at the line, okay, and keep going. All the way back to the corner where you started. There you go. When I say that you're going to cut on all the lines you drew, that's what it means. You're going to cut on these lines like this. You're going to cut on the cross lines, and you're going to cut on the diagonal lines, all the lines you drew. Do it without stopping to move your fabric. Don't cut these and then move this aside. Do all of your cutting first, and then you can move them apart. And then when I'm done with this, I'm going to have half square triangle units, and I'm going to have 12 of them. I think you'll find this is a really efficient and a very accurate way to do this. Because you've got this big chunk of fabric, it's not a problem to sew these bias seams, as it is when you're working with little pieces. I hope you enjoy it, and send me a message if you have any trouble. Thanks.